I don't know anybody else that drinks coffee at 12:13 in the morning. It's not even hot. How to deal with separation older children. I don't sleep, as you can see. Coffee keeps me up. Rock stars. Depression kicks in. Coffee is my best friend. I used to get angry and want to get angry all the time, and then anger doesn't get you nowhere. That's for sure. So then I get to the point where I'm like not functioning like a normal person should function. I'm a very unhealthy person. I can tell you that right now. Sorry. I'm trying to just change the lighting. I'm a very unhealthy person. I have overcame so many steps in my life as far as depression, anxiety, fear, separation anxiety, multiple deaths. I've had grandparents die, cousin die at 16 years old from a drunk driver. She was on the back of a motorcycle with her dad. He died, she died. My 18-year-old cousin died in a car wreck. My Uncle Jimmy died. My Aunt Cindy died. My Uncle Buster died, all before the age of 50. My Aunt Sherry died when I was 1 year old, and everybody thought I looked like Sherry. My grandma for years called me Sherry. She was the one that lost her child. My Aunt Sherry was 12 years old. She died of melanoma cancer. I lost my dad 2 years ago. He lived to be the oldest of them, and there's Kathy left. My dad died at 65 years old. Kathy's still alive. She's the baby daughter. So I've lost cousins, uncles, grandparents. No siblings, thank God, and my mom's still left. So I have a lot of issues that I've overcome as far as fear of loss and fear of separation. But I have really bad separation anxiety. And that's something I struggle with, especially when my youngest son thinks his way of separating from me is to just disconnect from me altogether. And then my oldest son, his way of separating from me, he can't disconnect from mom altogether because he's not that kid. He's a mama's boy. But what he does is he goes through spurts where he's just like, and then he'll go through spurts where, okay, I miss mom. And the problem is with him, he's very, very reckless. So during these spurts, he comes back, he weighed 160 pounds, and he comes back weighing 140 pounds. Yeah. And he has these very high dysfunctional relationships. He's a lot like his mom. He's a huge heart, and he tends to be emotionally needy, and he gets very narcissistic girlfriends. I attract narcissistic men, he not attracts narcissistic women. And the problem is that sometimes people don't even realize that they're narcissistic, but because they show a lack of emotion, and then when they go to show emotion, it's not genuine emotion. It's usually emotions always based around how they feel versus on how they're making another person feel. Like for me, I have more pain when it's something someone else feels. When I don't feel sorry for myself. Like if I'm doing something or I'm going through something, like I'm the only one that'll carry that pain for me. I don't like to share it with anybody. I don't like anybody to feel sorry for me. I don't like anybody to pity me. But when I get super sad, it's always for the other person. Like I lost one of my best friends to HIV. She died at 22 years old of AIDS. This is something crazy to cover, but she actually got it from her boyfriend when she was 16 years old. Her very first boyfriend. She got pregnant, had a baby, the baby was born with heart problems, and that's how she found out she was HIV positive. And then she didn't get treatment, and she loved me so much that she was afraid to tell me. So I didn't find out until after she died. When I moved to Kansas, she begged me not to leave. And then I found out a month after I came back to California, because I went looking for her. And when me and her were together, we were inseparable. My mom thought we were gay because we were just inseparable. And she was a Scorpio. And I found out she died from valley fever and pneumonia. And I told her brother, I said, people don't die from valley fever and pneumonia anymore. I was like, what are you talking about? She's 22 years old. She's healthy. And she said, Shauna, she had AIDS. Remember how she was telling you she had cancer? I go, because she really had AIDS. I go, why wouldn't you guys tell me that? Why did you keep that from me? And he said, she loved you so much that she didn't want to disappoint you. And you always talked about, you know, you and her forever. And so she felt at some point it wasn't going to be that way, and that she was going to abandon you. And I go, yeah, but she always talked about getting treatments for her cancer. And he's like, well, yeah, she could have did the HIV treatments. And see, back then, when people did HIV treatments, it was 20 pills twice a day. So you're talking a whole lot. And it made people really, really, really sick. And the side effects were tremendous. So she was 22 years old. I think she was just trying to live her life. And she didn't want to be like that. She didn't want to live like that. And it's just not fair. It's not fair. You know, it's not fair for a 22-year-old girl to die from something like that. And it makes me fucking sick. And this is why I hate our government. Because the CDC had a cure for it. When AIDS first hit out, they could have eliminated it like that. And they held on to it before they did a press release on it, and it went widespread. And then they couldn't get control of it. And then they were making so much money off HIV that they were making billions and billions of dollars, that so many young people died from it. And young gay men, straight women, you're talking about people that had blood transfusions, small children. It fucking makes me sick. And this is why I get so angry with the Democrats, because they support this shit that they bring out. And AIDS was not created in the Africans, honey. It was not in gay men. It was lab created through monkeys. And it was a test virus. And it leaked out. They leaked it out. It was a population control thing. Spiraled out of control. And then ended up killing millions and millions of young people. And it just... And then I think about my son, and I think my other son, and it's just, they're at her age, and I'm just going through some times, and I'm coming up on the time when it's going to be her birthday, and it's just hard, and I'm struggling tonight, guys. Keep me in your prayers, and I don't know. Just pray for me.